It's been 3 weeks since the founding roasters have roasted for the roasties. When we last saw you, Arsenal were still in the top four. Lacazette was still an Arsenal player. Mike was still on his diet. Mike's wife was still 49, and Danny's mom was still a hot piece of ass. Spoiler alert, she still is. Back together tonight at last. It's the Sunday Roast. Welcome to the Sunday Roast with Mike and Danny. This is Danny, and this is Mike, and we're kind of strange. We're in the tub, and we drink a lot. At least one of us does. This is not Mike's body, but that is Danny's, and that's really gross. Thanks for watching the Sunday Roast. We love our fans. And here's Danny's mom.
His name's Michael.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And he's a Jew. You can tell he's a Jew. Look at
Ask him
him.
who's his daddy.
Magical moment. I can almost taste Danny. It's so close I can almost taste him.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. It's the Sunday Roast with your hosts, Magic Mike and Danny the GFP. Danny, just like old times, the two of us back together again. How you been?
Well, one of us has been around the world, over and over, here and there, meeting and greeting, and one of us hasn't left the house in 3 weeks. So I'll let you figure out which one's which.
You know, the life of a Sunday roaster.
The roasties.
The roasties have a pretty good life, and I've met a number of the roasties in the past few weeks, actually. Not the least of which, Arnie from Iceland, and we'll get into that. But yes, it's been I've been off gallivanting. Arsenal season has ended since the last time we were together. I've been to London and back. Got a lot of videos and pictures to share with you of my whirlwind last few weeks. But thank you for keeping the show going with the lovely Soph and the very lovely John Welsh.
Well, he has a certain je ne sais quoi, as the Germans say.
He does. I mean, at least one of the two have, are very hirsute with the beards and kept the tradition going.
Yes.
And the other one is actually entertaining.
That's sadly true.
But thank you for keeping it going. We've been like ships passing in the night, but I'm very excited that we're back together again. I don't know. It's unreasonably excited for me to be podcasting with another bald, bearded youngster like yourself. But
Lothario.
But so let's start before we make this about me. Let's make it about you. Are you feeling all right?
No.
You feeling all right?
No. That's that out of the way.
Should I never ask that question again?
No, I'm permanently fucked. There's various degrees of fuckedness. But why is he going on about the Bulgaria result at our international stuff?
Have you been watching? Have you been watching the Nations League?
Have I bollocks? I couldn't give less of a fuck.
Yeah, I'm still in that kind of. This is supposed to be my time frame where, not time off from anything other than just thinking too much about football. Like I completely missed the fact that England were playing, and I would normally be all over that. And I'm glad that I wasn't, because it does not look like it's coming home anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I think the U.S. So now it's the U.S., England, Wales, and Iran. How is that even allowable? Isn't that like 4 teams from the same group or something like that?
That should actually be highly illegal. I see you deleted. Someone's mentioned Bird Lennon, and you've deleted it.
I had to.
Is there a limit on how many photos we're allowed in there?
Yeah, we went over because you're too cheap to have the upgraded version.
I've got the semi-upgrade. It's 80 quid.
I have a semi right now, actually. But yeah, I did have to delete the Bird Liner ones. You know, we're gonna have a whole new pastel or whatever it's called, a canvas of pictures and videos, because I got about 80 from my trip for this episode, and then we can get rid of them all afterwards. So
I don't think I've got anything interesting to. I bought a new phone, and so I spent about 2 hours yesterday copying everything from the new onto the new phone, so it looks identical. Super AMOLED display. It's USB-C charger. I've entered the world of USB-C charging, and my phone charge. It's got a 5,000 milliamp battery, and it will charge from empty to full in about 25 minutes. I think 35. So I don't know. It's only 249 quid.
You have the hottest of technology. I mean, we could do a whole show on Danny's technology, like the thing you pull yourself up off the loo.
Oh yes, spin me
around,
baby.
This bell made it back home with me after being in London and making a few appearances. This bell had better appearances than I did.
Has it got needs its own passport?
It does. No one even showed up for any of my appearances, but the bell was just, and I'm not talking about that guy on Twitter. I'm talking about this thing. Very, very well adored.
And you can see my talking of things beginning with birth, my beard is absolutely completely out of control. It's horrendous.
This is where I have to shave too. Like I was gonna shave today and I ran out of time because this is where it starts to look like I'm trying to look like I'm not bald. And
need to do it every day.
Well,
I don't do mine. I do mine about once every 4 or 5 days, and I've done. Oh, that's how much I can move at the moment. I've got 2 fingernails left to do, and then I'll be done. And I'll be out. No longer jab myself. I don't want to be jabbed. So, how is Steph? How was the birthday?
It was lovely. We that was why I missed last Sunday. There are some things that just. It wouldn't have been worth being here for the roast for rather than there. So I surprised my wife. My lovely wife turned 50 over the weekend. It's kind of hard to believe because she looks half the age that I am. Here's a picture. Here's a picture of us.
You look over your age, but she looks under her age.
Yeah, I mean, we look like we're average 50, maybe. Like if you add, like I'm 70, she's 30.
See, whenever I think of you being married, I always think that poor wife of yours, it must be like Family Guy. She's very normal, and he's a right old lump who does nothing but stupid things that gets on her nerves.
No, but I'm actually kind of a normal.
Is that a mushroom?
Person. No, that is a profiterole at a French restaurant that we went to. Had some champagne and they brought a profiterole with 1 candle on it. They would have. I wanted them to bring out one with 50 candles in it. That would have been funnier. But yeah, I can't see the chat right now, but I'm sure there's some punching comments going because yes,
when was the birthday? What was the date?
Fully recognize it was Sunday. Last Sunday was the actual.
Her birthday's the 29th of May.
Yes, it is.
And how long have we known each other?
6
years?
6 years, yeah.
And I've only just realised your wife and my daughter are born on the same day. There you go.
It's a famous.
So birthday. I too had a birthday celebration last Sunday.
Now was it a happy one?
I didn't even bother having a bath. I didn't bother shaving my head. I didn't bother putting any pants on. I just sat there in my t-shirt and socks all day. This country is now fucked because of the weather. I've got a 3-bar heater on down there and one over there in the beginning of fucking June. I should have the doors open.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Woohoo! And I should have the doors open because it's so fucking hot. At the moment outside it's 12 degrees. Double it, 24. That's about 48 degrees.
12 degrees is 50, 12 degrees is 54 degrees.
Whatever you say.
In Yankland.
In fucking June. Yes, I am clipping my nails. I only got 2 to go. I'm so fucked. My shoulders and neck and back. Anyway, so the child's a pain in the ass. Not really getting on at the moment because she's
an older pain in the ass now.
24. Yes.
24.
I'd hoped by 24 that she would act like a normal adult, grown-up human being. Oh no. Still acting like she's 14. So yeah, we decided to have a barbecue, and it rained. So her mum lit the barbecue. We all had one burger each and 2 slices of bacon each, and that was it.
Did you put any rocket on it?
Huh?
Was there any rocket on your burger?
Someone stole all my rocket. I was absolutely gutted. So the weather fucked us over for her birthday, and it's fucked me over all week. What have you done for the Jubilee? I hear everybody asked. Well, Thursday, I woke up at 6 p.m. and got into here by about 8 p.m. I went to bed at about 11. And then Friday, had a bath, and I was back in bed by 1 a.m. Yesterday, got up at 7, and today I got up at 6. There you go. It's my Jubilee weekend. Merry fucking Jubilee, everybody.
I don't know why they have to name something after a really angry, like, Jew that pushes people around and stuff. I mean, they could have called it something else other than a Jew bully.
Well, we do love our Jewish brethren over here, and I have an affinity with the Jewish people. If I did believe in reincarnation, I think I might have been Jewish. I'm not saying I was Jesus, but I'm not far off in a previous life.
Well, speaking of which, I did meet a Jewish person who resembles Jesus. Let me see if I can get a picture.
Oh, I think I saw that. Did he have ginger locks?
This is a picture I like to call Jews because it's full of Jews.
Yes, you tweeted that, didn't you?
Yeah, this might be every Jewish Arsenal podcaster / YouTuber plus my daughter. But I don't want to go out of order here because we got to talk. I want to talk about the 3 days. I was in London for 5, but there were 2 of them were travel days, and then the other 3 were just fantastic.
Did you break your duck of Arsenal losing every time you go and see them?
No, when I was there for the Brighton game, I broke my duck of Arsenal never losing when I go to see them, at least at home. I am 21 games with 1 loss at the Emirates. So wash your mouth out with soap for even suggesting that I'm bad luck. I got back on the horse with a 5-1 win for Everton. And I got to tell you, all of the disappointment and frustration, this is the Arsenal portion of the podcast, all the disappointment and frustration about not making top 4 was built in to me at that point. So, like, I got in trouble for, well, I got in a little, some Twitter discussions about, because I posted something like, if you're angry right now, and right now was literally 10 minutes after that game ended. I didn't mean like this week or this month. I meant right now. If you're angry, instead of enjoying a performance like we just saw, regardless of who it was against and what it meant, then I can't help you. Because there was just in the place, outside of the place afterwards, it was just a happy place. We like winning 5-1. It's better than not winning 5-1, and unfortunately, we all knew going into the game that we weren't going to get 4th place. We did nothing to further cost us 4th place. That was already done. So it was a happy day for me, just globally for the entire season. There's Melvin. It was a good day. So.
Oh, we do have a habit of smashing Everton on the last game of the season, the last game of the 98 season.
Yeah.
I was there, obviously. My favourite game, my favourite goal, my favourite player.
It's the Tony Adams goal, right?
Season, and my favourite stadium, and one of my favourite kits. In fact, everything should have ended then. I'd have been happy.
That's the most positive statement I think you've ever made in our.
And then a few years later, we smashed them 7-1 on the last game of the season. Took Dean, my Everton mate, with me, and he was over the moon because they'd qualified for the UEFA Cup, whatever that was.
A lot of people that I saw on the trip are in here. Bobby Chakraborty I have a video. I have a video to show you that includes Bobby a little bit later on. So anyway, shall I go through the trip a little bit, or
yes,
is that
do go for it? I've got nothing to add, people.
All right, so Bobby has to ask if we had Jaeger bombs. Let me skip ahead to this then, because
all I had to talk was moan about my arthritis and my other thing. There is a miracle cure that if we run out of time, they've actually got a miracle cure for my other condition, which my friend is taking. And if we run a board of stuff to talk about, maybe we'll come to that. But that would only be if you lot behave yourselves. But
I would love to find out how we can cure you, get you running around and doing this at the Tollington after the game. Thank you, Bobby. You're welcome, Bobby. Every video ends up with the dental exam for me. like I don't know why when I'm drinking, every video ends up with the camera inside of my oral fixture or whatever we want to call it. But,
I don't want to be mean about people I don't know. So who was that young gentleman at the background giving everybody the bird?
He was not giving everybody the bird. He was pointing to the Gooners versus Cancer Cup.
See, I wasn't sure if he was making a H or if he's pointing to the Cancer Cup, which is why I thought you might know him.
Yes, I do know him. I love that man. His name is Tom Rawlings. He's 3 years older than my daughter, who actually was also in that picture in the background, or in that video in the background. He's one of these people that I've met through people that I've met through people that I've met through the podcast, and I absolutely love the guy. So no, he was highlighting the Gooners versus Cancer Cups, not being a twat.
That was going to be my third question, followed by why, or is he making a H? Go on, carry on.
But yes, Bobby, we did have shots, and after looking at that video, Danny, I don't know why you don't enjoy being around people who are drinking. I mean, we look perfectly pleasant.
No, I don't. I think I'd be all right around you if you're drunk, but it's the ones I don't like people touching me, as you may well have noticed. People have to have written permission in triplicate in advance before they touch me, because people tend to grab you and pull you forward. You pull me too much forward, I'm going to be on top of you. We'll both be on the floor, and you'll be going, "I need an ambulance."
Well, no,
so,
I mean,
people smell funny. They have garlicky breath, or
it's not fun to be around drunk people when you're not drunk. I mean, I've never had to deal with that person.
So with my own mum. My mum's drunk. I go, "Mum, do not come anywhere fucking near me. Stay the fuck away." "Well, it's don't need to be like that." Well, I'm just preempting you being a fucking knob. And then there you go. It sets the tone for the night. So I just avoid drunk people, because obviously, look at me. They just want to grab me. They want to lick me. They want to run their fingers through my beard. And that's just the voice.
It is tempting, though, man. I mean, the first thing I did when I went for you was I went for a cuddle.
Yeah, well, you told me before you were going to, and that's okay.
Yeah, I registered with the hugging offender registry.
You did. You went to the website, huggingdanny.net.com.uk. You paid your nominal fee of $79.99, and
upload a picture of your passport and your penis.
Yeah, and then within 6 weeks, you got an okay.
It's an amazing process.
Wonderful.
I trust it implicitly. So, all right. So I was off to London. Let's see what happened. I didn't get to order all these pictures around. So what do we have? Oh, this was the bridge I lived under for a while, because my Airbnb did not come through.
Oh, fucking hell. Did anything in the end happen with that? Because that's fucking ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I didn't. What happened in the end was I didn't sleep on the street for 4 days, but it was looking pretty likely that was going to happen. So I get to London at about 6:30 in the morning. Everything seems fine. I'm riding the tube in. I take the obligatory picture. No, Gal Gadot is not the hottest Jewish actress ever. I take the obligatory picture from my old hood when I was slumming it in Knightsbridge 35 years ago, and got off at Holloway Road. Now, I knew my Airbnb would not be ready, but I didn't know that it would never be ready. So I put my my luggage in a kind of a storage facility. I highly recommend this. Like, if you get into London early, if you're coming from the States and you can't check into your hotel yet, there's something called Bounce. There's a few of these services, but use bounce.com. I recommend it. It'll find you like a registered place to take your luggage to. They're normally, it's normally like a shop or a offie or something like that, but they're,
an offie.
What I said, an offie.
Yeah, as in an off license.
Yeah.
Only Northerners call them the offie.
Well,
go on, carry on.
I'm from, I'm from
in Japan. They call them a conveni. As a convenience store.
That just sounds dumb. Conveni. They call them something else when I lived there, but
the Japanese don't call it a conveni. They call it something in Japanese, but the people speaking English over there do.
What they were called when I lived there in the 80s was not very nice. So I will not call it that. But yeah. So anyway, so I'm fine. I go and I knew that I was coming in the same morning as a good friend of mine, so we met up and had breakfast at a very prominent location. Guess the location.
Wembley. Did you mention the broken microphone that you're having to speak into an Xbox 360 thing?
You know what? He has made up for that in far more ways than.
Not for me, he hasn't. Where I only hear every other word because you're too tight to buy another one.
Well, Elliot was in town for a gig, let's say, and
I haven't heard about that.
We met up and we both had the same situation, I think, where we couldn't check into our hotels, so we went to Little Wonder Cafe across the street from the stadium.
Is it nice in there?
It's always nice in there. I mean, it's touristy, but it's not touristy. Like it's something.
Is it flat?
Is it flat?
I hope now everywhere you go,
yes.
the whole of your life. What have I asked you to do?
Yes, you could get in there.
You check everywhere for flatness.
I certainly did that.
And wideness.
It is. I think it's very accessible for you. Yes, it's in a good location. And as you can see across the street, you know there's no. I mean, to get up the sides of the state. Oh, I'm putting the cursor around the sides of the stadium like anyone can.
As if everyone can see it.
Yeah, I'm doing a PowerPoint presentation. No one can see. But yeah, you could go easily from there right across the street into the Armory gift shop, and that's exactly what we did after we ate. And
just the two of you for ages, two podcasting legends.
Just walking around, waiting to be adored. And it was the morning.
What was the first point someone recognised you apart from Elliot? Or did anyone recognise him and not you, or you or not him? That must be awkward.
Well, you get that all the time when you're walking around that area with lead judges. I mean,
the judge, obviously.
Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, no, I mean, that morning, nobody really came up to him. It was pretty quiet. It was still like 8:30 in the morning, and it was the morning of the new kit release. So we go across the street to check out the new kits. I don't think I got our video of that uploaded. I think we ran out of space to upload.
I did see you were quite disgruntled.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I did not purchase it.
You moved on,
went to something else, and then Elliot and I, for the time being, said our adieu, and I went to the Coronet, which is a Weatherspoons pub on Holloway Road that is very close to where my Airbnb was meant to be, and started just sitting and answering emails, and a beer ended up going into my mouth at one point or two.
Oh, it must have been a shock for you.
Lee came by in between interviews, and I'm not even kidding, in between media gigs. I don't think the guy does his former day job anymore. He just goes from studio to studio. So we had a meal, and so I'm supposed to get in around 1:00 to this Airbnb. The guy keeps stalling and saying he's coming in from Essex and there's traffic, and no, I've just got to Islington or Highbury and Islington train station. I'll be there in 10 minutes. An hour goes by. The guy ends up at 4:00 when I was supposed to be in by 1. He tells me, "Oh, I'm waiting for a bed." I'm like, "You said you were walking to pick me up and bring me back 3 hours ago. What do you mean you're waiting for a bed?" He's like, "Well, there's the bed broke and I'm waiting for a bed and the mattress guy still hasn't come." He's like, "Don't you want to sleep in a bed?" I was like, "Yeah, I wanted to sleep in a bed 3 hours ago. I've been up for 24 straight hours." And that's when I knew something was horribly wrong. So another 2 hours go by, and finally, I'm not going to go through the whole back and forth, but I ended up having one random hotel on Thursday night, another random hotel on Friday night, and then finally getting into an Airbnb on Saturday that I stayed.
Did you get a full refund and or compensation?
I got a full refund for the Airbnb that never happened. I got compensation for one night's hotel and a couple $100 off of the Airbnb. So in the end, it worked out, but it did appear for a time that I was going to be living under a bridge, which sucked.
You just got drunk and fitted in with the rest of them.
Yeah. So while I was when I finally checked into the hotel room, I took this picture for Soph because I was starving. I'd been up for 30 something hours. And so I went to have a meal at a Greek restaurant, and this Does this look gross to you? And I don't mean the food looks bad. I just mean like it looks very.
It looks like something out of Star Wars that you have to put your hand in as a test and pull out.
Yeah, I it looks like it's gonna bite you. Did you ever see that movie Little Shop of Horrors?
I did until I realized it was a musical, and then I quickly turned it off. So I saw about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like I
It looks like the mouth of one of the big things.
Yeah, exactly. And I took my because this is the Sunday roast, and we show pictures of food. I took this picture. I think I took a fork. Let me see if I have a fork around here. Good chance that I did. Took a fork and put it in to see if the thing would close on me. I didn't want to lose my finger right away, so I tried with a fork. Then I gradually went around the outside and dumped the lamb out of the pita because it looked like a trap. I was like, I have been fucked with so much on this trip so far. I am not going to fall for this.
Can't risk it.
Couldn't do it. So, but the food was good. It was lamb. I'm a lamb guy.
No, never eat lamb. Too fatty.
And so that was my Thursday. It was about 32 hours of being awake and sitting around waiting for people that never showed up. And then that
was he courteous the whole time, or could you tell he was bullshitting?
I had a inkling there was something wrong with this guy by the way he would respond to things ahead of time. He would fail to answer my question, and the way he spoke on text was a little off, like it was a little too formal or informal. I mean, I don't know.
What do you think? What if you had to have a guess? What do you reckon it is? He double booked it or something?
No, I legitimately think he just. I mean, I believe them that he didn't have a bed. I just don't quite understand why. Because he took a picture and showed me, but I'm like, how do you not sort that out? And why did you tell me you were on your way to me 3 hours ago? Just tell me that the place isn't ready, and we'll sort it out. But anyway, so that wasn't lovely. But Friday, from that point on, though, great trip. Friday, one of the 3 reasons I went over there. One was the game on Sunday. 2 was the Arsenal Vision and Arscast show on Saturday night, which was fantastic. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then Friday was a Gooners versus Cancer fundraising event at the Tollington, which was just lovely. It was a really, really nice time. Saw a bunch of people, a lot of luminaries, as some people would say.
The hierarchy of the podcasting world.
Yeah, it was a good portion of people, and none
of my lot where they weren't allowed.
No, they did not represent. I must say,
because they're fucking useless.
Earlier in the day, though, this happened. This is my friend Mark Mertz. He's from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Very, very good. Very, very strong proponent and generous donator to Gooners versus Cancer for years, and he donates every single year, and he's been pretty lucky to win. He won 2 game tickets, which he was using for this game with his daughter, who's pictured there, and he also separately won a tour, a Legends tour with the one and only Perry Groves,
fixed,
and beers afterwards. Which, if you've never had beers with Perry Groves, that was one of the best things we had on auction last year for Gooners versus Cancer, because it's a one of a kind experience. You can get signed jerseys; those are great. They go up on your wall. You can get game tickets, which are obviously nice. But the chance to just sit and hang out with a legend who never short of stories to tell is fantastic. So it was neat actually getting to see them get their Perry Groves experience.
I had him on the podcast once.
Yeah, Perry's a lovely guy.
How hard was it seeing Perry Groves there with people that without going, I'm just going to go and sit here and skitch up a little bit and all right, Perry, how you doing?
Well, ultimately that's what happened, but I was very I don't want to encroach on your experience and stuff, but I mean I'm friends with Mark as well, and I had met Perry a few times before, and so the bulk of the time they were there I was actually setting up for the event that night, hanging posters and setting up the table with with all the signs and stuff. I mean, it's throwing an event like that is that actually takes some preparation. But
did you have to stay sober to do it?
No. But I did. I didn't have to, but I pretty much did.
Nicky boy.
I paced myself, but yeah, by the end of the time I was there, they called me over the table and we gave Perry some Ruth Beck art. Ruth, who's been doing the podcast circuit lately. When we do another podcast on our channel, we'll have her on. But,
she was on with Fergus and Trev, and
she was on
very,
Fergus
very
and
good.
Trev. She was on with Soph. She's a lovely, very talented artist who has helped us with our fundraising by providing a lot of her prints, which we use to incentivize people to come. And in this case, everyone who came and donated at the event got a free print from Ruth Beck. Perry, of course, has donated his time, so we gave him some memories of his old stomping grounds. I'm sorry?
Perry Groves' book. Have you read it?
I have not.
It's
I need to.
One of the best Arsenal football books you can read. It's so good. I loved it.
I can only imagine it's good. He's got tons of stories to tell. So that was fun. We got a picture for his. Mark started a fan group, a supporters club up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and it's actually pretty popular up there. So, it's a nice story. Guys love Arsenal. They spread the love for Arsenal in their local areas, and it becomes a big reason why Arsenal is such a big team over here in America. So kudos to Mark. These are in no particular order, but from the event that night, it was really just a laid back event. It wasn't like a live podcast. It was just come, have beers, hobnob with people.
To have been there.
Enjoy. I wish you could have been there. It wasn't too crowded. It wasn't like an overly packed, ridiculous thing where you couldn't hear, think, or do anything. It was, you could move around. It was festive.
Does the pub play music while people are trying to drink and talk? That's
but it's not overbearingly loud.
No music in pubs.
Yeah, it wasn't overbearingly loud, and we were able to get the microphone a few times to do some announcements and pick the prize, which was the prize for the night was a signed Perry Groves shirt. The prize,
who won that?
I'll show you in a second. He wasn't there when I picked the thing though, so I actually have to mail it to him across the Atlantic now. But so that was the prize for the night. Everyone got the Ruth Beck art that donated, and then also everybody's in the hopper now for that 89 shirt. We've got about 130 entries back in that, so still left for that. So it's a fun night. Here's the Jewish Jesus right here, James Johnstone. Love that guy.
I didn't know he was one of your clergy.
Yeah, he is. You wouldn't think, but between the name and the look, you wouldn't think Jew.
Did you double check? Were you allowed, or was that?
We did go into the back and I made sure.
Yeah, he's not pulling a fast one.
Yeah. By the way, I'm on the picture panel, so I'm unfortunately not seeing a lot of the comments. So if there's anything that I need to respond to, Danny, if you can put it up for me. But
okay, I didn't think of doing that. Where are we up to?
Well, there might not be, but I'm just saying I don't mean to ignore anybody in there, but I'm looking at a different screen right now. So
Mark just wants a drinking session with Perry. Womble says, what you're going to do next year with the Gooner versus Cancer. Ryan is there. Nick is there. And the rest of them are just making the most of having those wonderful emotes. That's it. Carry on. Yeah,
these look new. And I will talk about Gooners versus Cancer. We're gearing up for next year. So you'll probably get that within the next few weeks. There's a lot going on, though. So, yeah, that's James. This is Melvin. Melvin's in the chat right now. It was great.
He is. He just said hello to Ryan.
These are some folks that that I've met, and I would say I know them from online, from being on podcasts with them. But it's kind of cool just to go and like I did with you, just to get personal contact and face to face. And it's never awkward. It's always just like an extension of the relationship you already have. So it's nice to do that. Melvin's a lovely fellow. These were two lovely people.
Jurgen Klopp in the middle. Was that like a very bad copy of Jurgen Klopp?
You shouldn't be saying that. That's Arnie.
Who's Artie? I don't know Artie.
I'm pretty sure that's Arnie Arneson from in the chat right now.
He does have the Germanic look about him. If he's from that part of the world, is that you, Artie? Let us
Arnie.
know. Arnie.
My head is I'm having trouble with a few people putting names to faces a few weeks later, but I'm pretty sure that's Arnie.
He says, yes, that's me.
Yep. Lovely Arnie. I'm sorry, I wasn't 100% confident on that, but yes, Arnie. And significant other, wife, girlfriend, don't remember, sister. But
all of the above. No, he's not from Norwich. That only Nick applies to Nick and Ellis.
This is Lev, who I've been on the Arsenal Lounge with a couple times. He made a very generous donation. Got a nice big Saka and Emil Smith Rowe painting, which I think may be in his background when he pods now. So that was nicely done by him.
I've heard of him. I think I've seen his show.
Yeah. This was Ronnie. Ronnie was a big fixture of the evening, jumping around and having
nice
a good
hair.
time.
Strong beard game. Good.
Yeah. No, what I would give to have that kind of.
He could give away half of it and it still look good, and we could share it between us.
Yeah, that hair. I mean, I've got facial hair, but it's in no particular style, or I mean, it just is where it grows. There. He's got like a style situation going. He's got the hair that. When I had hair, I used to think that I would love to like have it slicked back, and it would never work. My hair grew like directly forward, so I would slick it back, and then within 10 seconds, it would just be standing straight up, like all over the place. It was a complete shit show.
Arnie says that was his girlfriend from Iceland.
Yes, well, she was very lovely, and so was Arnie. Arnie was even lovelier. This is the Jew picture again. My daughter. So my daughter is still in London now. She just turned 21 this weekend, actually, and she's doing a summer abroad. She's in journalism and doing an internship and some classes before her final year of uni. But this was her first weekend there, and we just assumed. I mean, we get along very well, but she was mortified when she found out I was coming the same weekend as she was going, because she wanted to kind of have her own
flights.
She wanted to have her own London experience. She didn't want it to be about me. But yeah, I got her the tickets for Sunday's game.
She looks like she's milking it, though, because she didn't want you there.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, going into it, she's like, I'll see you on Sunday, but you got to leave me alone.
You stay away. Don't let anyone know I know you.
Saw her Friday night. Saw her Saturday night.
Can I have some food? Can you get me a drink? Got any tickets for the games?
And
these are all your friends. That's my dad,
yeah, That's Ben. Ben used to do the God, I can't think of things tonight. What's wrong with me? Maybe it's the drinking. Ben used to do the thumbnails for our podcast last season. He's a talented young handsome man.
Look, who's that? Is that Voldemort?
I don't know who this was. This guy came in. He was like fangirling all the people that were at the pub. I didn't catch his name in the end, but he had really big teeth. This is Gunnar Russ.
I know Gunnar Russ. Well, I know of him.
Russ is the nicest guy you could meet in person. And then
is he one of your lot, or is he a vicar? He's one or the other.
No, he's not one of my lot. Not in the way that you mean it. Or he would have been in that picture. But yeah, yes. Russ is warm and cuddly in person, but don't ask him about the Crockies on the internet, because you will get a stream of anger and frustration.
Quite rightly.
Potsy was in the house.
There's a cheeky young man currently on the run in Croatia.
Here's one of your favorite people.
Fran.
This is Fran, aka Charlotte, aka how many names do we think she has?
Well, I'd almost forgotten that she used her sister's account. That's why I keep thinking her name's Charlotte, but it's not. It's Fran. Yes, and she is on tomorrow night. She is on with Trev and Fergus.
Oh yeah.
Guns and Yellow Ribbons. There you go. She's on with those two tomorrow night.
I gotta give it up for Fran, because she reached out the day before and was like, "Will you all still be there at 11?" Because
she was working.
I get off of work and I'm 2 hours away, and she came. She got there a little before 11, but she, I mean,
that's dedication. That is
to make that effort. I mean, it's humbling, and I know it's not because of me, but I mean, to make that effort to come and come all the way into London for an event like that, and when she got there, she was just hugging everybody. She was thrilled to be there. It was really, it was very cool. And she made some very good contacts as well. I started talking to Elliot for a bit about her artwork. And this is a man, Chris Hudson, who without him, there might not be any AFTV.
Yes,
take that as you wish.
Wasn't he a taxi driver?
The
infamous rant outside the Emirates.
Yeah, I forget what game that was after. I'm sure somebody knows, but
someone's asked a good question here, which I always think about podcasts. Daniel Roberts says, I would like to think there is a massive WhatsApp group of every single Arsenal podcaster. The biggest one I'm in is the ABW one. It's 13 of us. And then there's me, you, and Andy in one. And then there's 7 ABW in another one. And then I've got itchy nostril. We've got the game. We've got the Arsenal fans gaming one. There's about 7 of us in there, but other than 13, that's because it's all the people from ABW. Good God, there's 13 of us.
Yeah, I'm in a handful of them, but they're all like I'm obviously in one with my guys.
Yeah.
I'm in one that Tom started, and there's a few podcasters in there. Some active, some dormant. The biggest one that I'm in is probably connected with Lee Judge's TV. Lee and Dan started it, and as it happens, because of who they have on their channel, there's most of the people that are in that group, like Soph and Russ and Lee and a few other people do podcasts. Albert's in that group. So, but no, I mean there should be though. I'm not sure how that would go. There'd probably be more arguments than anything else. But even though the podcasting community generally gets along with each other, there are differences of opinion, and I don't know if I could take that.
There is another one, Jeff there, who's one of the favouriteest members of ABWs now. He's branched off now, and he does a line of white animals. He's got white cats and dogs, and So he's there was another one. It was remember it was Fifey, Jeff, Chris, John, Elliot, a few of those, and then when me and Jace had that disagreement, I said, "Well, I'll leave, and then Jace can stay in it." And so I left, and then Jace left. And I'm thinking, "Fuck's sake, I'm not in any groups with Jeff." That was 2 years ago, but yeah,
there's Kaya.
There are none.
Kaya Kynak of Football.London, tall, lovely man. Came and spent not just the there were 2 parts of this evening. The first was the event, and then there was the event after the event. Let's see. There's
Who's
David
that?
Ziegler.
Oh, him. I know him.
Yeah, he's looking more and more homeless every day. I think he started growing that at COVID, and for some reason can't get rid of it now. But that's David. He was in rare form. That's David's wife, Lori. I was very hungry at the time, so
she looks very scared at the time.
I demolished the entire thing. After this picture, there was no more head left. There's 2 famous podcasters and a wannabe. Yeah. And then this was at 4:45 in the morning in my second hotel room, because what happened after the and by the way, this was my favorite picture of the night. She just made me very proud.
She'll soon hate you.
No, she doesn't hate me, but I just thought she was not even going to want to be wasting her time with old dad. And it's funny having people come up and talking to her dad like thanks for doing this charity, and it's great to finally meet you. And my daughter's like,
he's the one who puts the bins out. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's like, my dad like farts during dinner, and
my mum would kill him if she could get away with it.
But no, it was pretty funny. So after the event kind of wrapped up around 11:30, 11:45, was a night of karaoke that was like none other. The most eclectic, strange mix and group of people in a little pod. Like karaoke for us, when we go to karaoke here, it's a big bar and there's a stage, and you put your name in the list, and you get up on the stage in front of everybody and you sing a song. Is that what you think with karaoke?
I don't know. I'll try to avoid it.
I don't know.
Go.
You love being in front of a microphone, but so karaoke. I mean, I don't know if this is everywhere, but the karaoke place we went to, I think it's called Lucky Voice in Islington. Elliot basically is like, we're doing karaoke. I just booked us a room. Everybody get over there. And about 15 or 20 people end up in this small, I mean, it smelled like COVID in there. I don't know how I didn't get COVID. I have no idea, but you would have loved this. It was like a 10 by 10 room with a television screen, 2 microphones, and some very, very drunk people. And there are some that I've negotiated not to show.
They said, "Don't you dare."
Yeah, I mean there's some, but here's a little sampling. We'll see how long we could go with this. But if you heard about, or if you want to see what happens after the event, it's gotten a little crazy here now.
There's another one, but it'll come later.
There was New Kids on the Block. There was Britney Spears. There was Queen. Let's see. We have a little Bohemian. This is hot.
That was a lot.
Nothing really matters to me. By the way, pictured in that,
hell.
You would have hated it. This is why I'm showing.
I wouldn't have gone in.
I was the last one to get there because I had to actually go from the Tollington to check into my second hotel room at midnight, and then Uber there. And when I walk in, like, just the smell and the heat that came from this little room. But Paul, who people will know on Twitter as Posnan in my pants from the AVP,
Lovely
was the
man.
tall man who I was grabbing and who I apparently dipped while he was singing. You've not heard anything until you've heard him sing Britney Spears, like early stage Britney Spears. It was
I bet it's a thing to behold.
it was a thing to behold, and this was a perfect example of how drunk people.
Does everybody shut up when people sing? I don't know how karaoke works, or does everyone all sing at the same time?
This was kind of like group karaoke. It was more like there were 2 microphones and people would just pass them around and everybody would sing. The kind of karaoke I was used to is you get up there in front of the stage and you make a fool of yourself in front of everybody else. But anyway, so that was karaoke. 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I think it was over, and then it was off to the new Airbnb for me. The show the next night. I mean, this is where I get a little fanboyish because, and I'm friends with these guys, but like I'm in awe of these guys because the crowd that came to see Arsenal Vision and Arscast was so, I mean, they was so excited to see them. Like it was, they sold out 1,000-person theater, the not theater, it's like a church, Union Chapel, and they could have probably sold 3 or 4 or 5 times as many tickets.
I saw the queues outside. Very good.
It's unbelievable. This was about half an hour before they opened the gates, I think. Let's see if I can get this video.
So was there any heckling or any dickheads there?
No, it was like just a
Cheers.
thing full. It was like a place full of love. I mean, it's everyone was there to be entertained. They came back more entertained than they would have expected to.
Yeah.
It was just a fun night. I mean, those guys have great chemistry, and it was funny, and they all stayed.
How long was it?
What'd you say?
How long was it from the moment they went, right, everyone shut up, here we go, till the end?
A little over 2 hours.
Fucking hell.
There was a part 1 and an intermission where everybody went to the bar. Then a part 2, and then everybody went out for drinks afterwards. And I'm looking for pictures and video, but that must not have gotten uploaded.
There must have been a few. When you get 1,000 people, it's amazing that you didn't get anybody being a knob.
No, I mean, we had a guy. One of the events I went to in November was this 89 like set to music, like Anfield '89
Oh, the
set
Amy Lawrence thing.
Barbican. And then after the show, they had George Graham, Lee Dixon. Amy was led by Amy Lawrence, but she was interviewing Lee Dixon, Perry Groves, George Graham, and Alan Smith. And this one dickhead in the back who was clearly drunk kept shouting at George Graham for going to Tottenham. Like it was so out of order. We wanted to murder the guy.
So why didn't somebody stop him in the second he did it? Drag the fuck outside and hit him.
It should have happened. The answer is I don't know why that didn't happen. He ended up belting something out 3 or 4 times. And
so this is where you need some of ABW there, because John would have grabbed him and taken him outside. Jason, you had Jason doing security. He wouldn't even got the second syllable out, and Jason would have had him in a Boston back grab.
it was so disrespectful. But anyway, no one like that at all. It was just a big love fest, family atmosphere. And I talked to Elliot afterwards. He's like, the guy. I mean, he's like, I don't know how this is happening. Like all we do is talk into a microphone. And I'm like, no, it's.
But we could fill a McDonald's with this lot at the moment.
What'd you say?
We could fill a McDonald's with this lot. A medium-sized McDonald's.
Well, that's where I'm planning on doing our Sunday roast-a-thon, our live.
Look at everyone in there. Oh, what we need. Where is he? Nick, if you could, for the people that are on Twitch, could you make a roast potato, so the people on Twitch can have it? Because Nick's made loads of emojis for us on Twitch, but I don't think you can have anything on YouTube, can you? So someone can do a little emoticon for all the little roasties that we got in the show tonight. But
this was the stage.
It must have been a technical nightmare to have 6 people when they all were. You could hear them all perfectly all the way through, and there was no that high pitch thing when the sound is wrong.
No, they had the whole back of the theater was they had the mixers and the sound crew. I mean, this was not hanging out at a pub with someone taking video on their iPhone, streaming it online, and hoping that they have good. I mean, this was a serious production, and I know a lot of people that watched it on their Patreons, and I heard no complaints about how it came off. So I think it came off both live and otherwise. This is
we did one. ABW did one in 2014, I think it was, or 13, and it was at the Gunners Pub, and. Yep. It was a nightmare. I mean, I didn't go because I couldn't get down there, but it was a nightmare to try and get the audio right. And then Gimli got drunk, and then the whole thing fell apart. And so it never ended up happening. There was no live bit. We meant to have people from America, and I think Steve was going to be on a couple of others. And
I've watched that.
There was clips of it, but there was never an actual whole podcast of.
Oh, okay.
This is the like they've done there, because the amount of organisation it would take to be able to get everyone to be heard properly, and then to have that and turn that into a version that you can listen to on your iPhone Pod Touch. I don't know why I say Apple products on your Android device. That's really well done.
Well, I am early doors, but I am planning an event that will be probably more like the one that Arsenal Vision did back in October. If there was anyone here that went to that, it was at the Victoria's Tavern. There was probably 50 to 60 people there, not 1,000. And we're going to try to do a live event that's for Gooners versus Cancer there when I'm over at the end of August or early September.
How did it go at the pub with that night? How many tickets did you sell? Because you only had about 150 left, didn't you?
Yeah, we raised about 1,200 quid. About $1,500 that night, or between that day and that night, and we also had those cups that you saw earlier. Which the deal behind the cups is we brought them to the Tollington both on Friday night and on Sunday for the game, and you buy the cup for £5. It's a donation, and the cup is slightly larger than the normal pint glass that they fill at the Tollington, and so for the whole day or the whole weekend, if you hold on to it, they'll fill your all the beers that you get are slightly bigger than they otherwise would be, and of course,
a good angle.
Giving to the
whose
good
idea
cause.
Was that?
I'm sorry.
Whose idea?
That was the idea of a pub in Orlando last year when the team was going to come. They said that had been done by local fundraisers, and I love the idea, and it really comes off well during the day of a game, or if there's a crowd in there, everyone just ends up buying one. and it's an easy way to make money for the charity. So we'll be doing that again this summer when the team actually come. But so yeah, Saturday night was fun. I wish I had the video from outside.
Well, the queue.
Yeah,
I think most of people here are all on Twitter. I think they've all seen it.
Yeah, it was insane, in a very good way. But and then they all paraded out to pubs afterwards. There was about 2 or 3 different pubs that people went to afterwards. Very generous with their time. They didn't, go and slink back into some green room or anything like that. Clive is obviously a fan favorite. People hounding Clive to get pictures and talk football with him, and the guy couldn't be nicer and more generous with people. So anyway, I am a big fan of those guys, and happy to be friends with them as well, because they all like humble, nice people who generally deserve the adulation that they get, unlike the two of us.
It's weird how things fall, because what the fuck was that? Huh. Clive was part of the something Gooners podcast with
he was Gooner Ramble.
Gooner Ramble. They were saying there's 3 or 4 of them, and then the Gooner Ramble got an opportunity to go.
With a
Yeah,
keel, I think, doing it, and that numbnuts was complete waste of. And
there was Giles. There's 4 of them, I think, and they're pretty good. And then they got an opportunity to go and do radio, and I think it was Love Sport Radio or something. And so I don't think Clive wanted to go and do that. And then Clive was about a podcast, and I remember messaging him going, "Oh, are you looking for a new podcast?" And then he said, "Yeah." So I said, "We'll have to come on ours and then get you on a few times." No, we had too many people, and then it goes from there to him teaming up with Elliot and all that lot, and Tim and Paul, and then now look where they are. It's a sliding doors moment. If they wouldn't have got that opportunity, and then Talk Love Sport Radio, due to COVID, shut down.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean it's unfortunate that for you and for the ABW that it turned out that way. But I mean Elliot is. I mean,
we wanted him to come on and just do some shows. We like now we've got no room for more. But we've got fucking too many people. We've got 2 people that don't turn up. We don't need any more to not turn up. Not that he would have said yes if we would have asked him, because he's far too good.
Well, what makes that podcast what it is and as successful as it is just the perfect complement of people. The team that Elliot's put together. It's and the work that they put in. This is very nice comment. I don't know that we belong in that. So well, okay. I'm gonna just take it. Arsenal Vision, Arscast, and the Sunday Roast. 3 best podcasts in the world. Following Ipswich next year due to the online fans.
And Russ is there down the bottom. He says hello. Russ says he remembers the Gooner Ramble. Yeah, it's good podcast. Yeah. Giles is very, very good. I mean, they're all very good. Yeah, I mean, but Akil now concentrates on the fans meetings, what they called
forums, and
and Giles is does a lot of stuff on Twitter, and Charles is a very good follow on Twitter. If you can get an account that doesn't get banned for retweeting videos.
Akil was at the Tollington after the game on Sunday. So game day,
very nice.
I love game days at the top. It's just a meet and greet and just a revolving door of great people at the Tollington before and after the games. I know there's a lot of great pubs you can go to, and some people have their favorites, and Bank of Friendship or the George or
basically anywhere but the Gunners pub.
Formerly the Gunners pub. I mean, that used to be one of my go-tos until
that's the only pub I've ever been in around there.
It became a little bit crazy because of someone becoming a little bit crazy. But
Mark says it was the AST, the Arsenal Share Trust.
The
Supporters Trust, not shares. I don't have shares in it anymore.
So let's see. Do we have game day pictures? Yeah, there's all of a sudden out of nowhere, Super Kev made an appearance. So from right to left, that's Fat Dude, Super Kev, my daughter Allie, her friend Hannah, who was at her first football game ever, and some guy named Charles.
Never heard of him. Definitely doesn't have a fantastic YouTube channel.
Charles comes to the Tollington before work 4 times a year, and I think it was the 4 games I went to. I absolutely love that guy. It's nice to have a beer. And the cool part was, even though my daughter's interest in journalism is more like political journalism and than sports journalism, it was still nice for her to have somebody who's as accomplished as Charlie to kind of just chat to. It never hurts for a young professional to talk to people who are a little bit more entrenched or
what
quite a
area
lot
of journalism?
entrenched.
What area of journalism does she want to go into?
She's interested in political, international.
I think I've asked you this before.
Yeah, news, either being a correspondent or just writing for folks. Some bloke. Are you the guy who I don't know your online name, but you're the guy from Baltimore that I met. I took a picture of him with my friend Danny Chesham, and I thought they looked like twins. But yeah, this guy from Baltimore was there. We will definitely be getting together again at the Abbey. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, this is Steph. Some of you, again, I'm using the cursor like you can see what I'm doing here. On the right, Steph Goldstein, good friend of mine. That's so there's 3 Jews in that picture. What else do we have? Oh, this was after the game. So our seats, for the first time, I'm used to sitting, if I don't sit in Jack's section, Jack Stevenson's section, which is block 32 and amazing tickets, and I didn't for this game because they were being used by Mark,
the prize winner.
By the prize winner. I normally end up getting seats somewhere in the North Bank or the North Bank corner. This time we were in block 25, which is the Ashburton Army block. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of controversy about Ashburton Army and, are they good for,
rowdy young boys, apparently, isn't it?
There's a lot of young boys, young men, a lot of energy, a lot of singing, a lot of loud chanting. And I thought it was great. Traditionalists, I don't know. There's some people that are, North Bank and I grew up in the North Bank, but it's kind of not, it doesn't necessarily translate now. But that was phenomenal, especially for my daughter and her friend to be there for one of their first experiences at an Arsenal game. It really did help make the atmosphere better. So,
well, if you wouldn't drink, you could come and get me and we could go. That's a big ask like that, isn't it?
That's you didn't know what you're asking me to do.
Which is why I've never mentioned it before.
We will do that. We have to do that.
No, I'm not going to hold you to that.
Let's see what we got here. Oh, this was the view from our seats. That's about the happiest I get right there. You can't make me any happier than that. This was after the game with Lucy. That's Russ's daughter, Lucy, who is a YouTube presence of her own. Albert, yes. And my friend, my mate, Lewis, who I love that guy. That is Giant Gooner on Twitter, a brilliant financial mind, and he's frequently right below Swiss Ramble and way above me when it comes to finances and football finances. Is Giant Gooner right there? He's not as he is Giant Gooner. I am a Giant Gooner. That's what I kept telling people.
You're not even that tall. I was quite surprised. You're only 5'4"?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 5'2" actually, and I'm also 5'2" wide. I'm like a big square.
You're a square.
Some people are squares, but like when they say it about me, it's based on my look. There's Clive at the Tollington. Oh, that's Clive's son, by the way, in the middle behind us. Lovely young man. We spent some time talking. We met him we met the two of them at the Football Content Awards dinner in December in October.
You won an award.
We won an award. They won the award. His son was fantastic. He's a footballer himself. And let's see what else we got. This was some dude I met after the game.
Do you know his name?
I did at a moment in time, probably that moment in time. I knew his name. I no longer do. Let's see. There's Dan Potts with his lovely mom, who I spilled red wine over on. This was bad. Somebody hit me from behind, and my pinky finger hit her wine glass. She's the only person drinking red wine at the Tollington before an Arsenal game, and red wine went all over her blouse. So within 10 seconds of meeting Dan Potts' mom, I spilled red wine all over her. Only in the world of Magic Mike does that happen. After the game, the lap of honor, they came over, spent a lot of time in front of the clock end. Lacazette apparently gained a lot of weight and put on.
Even with all those Lacazettes on the pitch, he still wouldn't score.
That's not very nice.
It's fucking true though. So, I remember we did a show around Christmas and someone said, what's going to happen at first? Lacazette scoring another Premier League goal or Lacazette leaving Arsenal? And we all thought, it's maybe maybe January or February, I don't know. And we thought, oh, what a stupid fucking question. Turns out it was a very good question because it was a point well made. Because leaving was the correct answer. Fucking off back to Leon. He'll score 80 a season there. Yeah. Lovely bloke. But another failure.
Well, he definitely is a lovely bloke. Got a chance to meet him. Yeah, here's our last moments with Laka. So anyway, yeah, let me get back. I did get some very good videos from the game, including I told the first thing I told Ali when I saw our seats, I said, is that if there's a penalty in the first half, it's going to be amazing, and you'll probably be on television, which I don't think that we were, but. So if I did upload this video, this was the first goal.
I have downloaded it.
Oops, sorry. I don't know what that's still doing up. Get that off. How do I get Lacazette off? Oh, here.
Press it again.
Yeah. So
I'm actually looking at the Everton game now. I downloaded it, and I'm going to see if your daughter's in the crowd. So you carry on.
Well, the problem is that they didn't show the straight on view behind. Like I like when they show behind so you could basically see everyone was behind the goal. They did it from. How
many rows back were you?
We were about probably 10 to 12 rows back.
If you wave, I'll be able to see you. Wave. I can't see you. Oh no, I had it paused.
Oh, not now? Okay. This is the second goal. And by the way, I have to say, look at the hustle play from Granit Xhaka right here. I don't compliment him often, but this was impressive. Another dental exam.
If this video gets blocked, like the last time I showed anything, I just showed the bench once and they blocked the fucking video. Really? So that you people, they're arseholes. The slightest little thing, but if it's been on TV or any football
telecast, that's my own personal.
I know they're arseholes.
Well.
So all it would mean that they'll just cut it out. I have to click that, edit it out.
Well then, all the more reason to watch the show live, people.
Yes.
But I mean, in those moments, and this is what I was getting at after the game. In those moments, if your first reaction is, "Fuck, this is meaningless," because we already blew fourth, instead of "Get in," like if that's your reaction, I just don't know what you're doing. I mean, I understand the thought process behind it, but just as an almost 50-year-old man with a 50-year-old wife, She's gonna kill me for just continuing to just point that out for no good reason. Just enjoy the small moments. Okay, just enjoy the moments that you have.
I've been saying, there was 15 teams in the Premier League this season that would love to have finished fifth.
Yeah, I mean, and this was my other thing. We did a player rating show on the Arsenal Lounge earlier this week, and when I do player ratings after a game, I do, especially if we win, I do tend to give out a lot of 7s, 8s, and 9s, or as I usually do, like a lot of 7.86s and 8.17s. And but for the season, I gave out mostly 5s, 6s, and 7s with one sub-5 rating for somebody. And there's people in the chat saying, I can't believe Ben White was a 3, and giving, you can't give Lacazette more than a 1. And here's my thought process on that.
For the season?
Yeah.
People are fucking idiots.
Let me just ask the chat what they think about this, in addition, of course, to asking you. Like, when I'm giving player ratings on a scale from 0 to 10, I'm not rating them on how they perform versus what I would ideally like for an Arsenal team to be. I'm rating them as players. So you're going to tell me that players who were in the starting 11 of the 5th best team, and don't tell me we weren't the 5th best team, because we were the 5th best team in the best and most competitive league in the world, that they're individually 2s and 3s and 4s. Then what are the players for Norwich? Like I mean, Norwich players were crap this season, but I mean, are they all 0s? Like,
people can't look at things in context.
They
just want to get angry and go, I'm going to take out my anger by giving that player a 3. Well done. Justify that. But you can't. Shut up.
So what you're saying is that there's only the only people that are worse than those players are 2s and 1s, which I would expect, like, players on Northampton Town to get, or something. Even if you're looking at it just from the Premier League, what their ratings are. So it's all a matter of perspective. I understand that, but it's just silly. People just want to be angry all the time, and I just can't. I got no room in my thought process for that. But it was a wonderful game. We had it was very celebratory, lots of songs, which again was fun for my daughter and her friend. Even got them to be doing my favorite little ladder dance.
So was a friend American as well?
Yeah.
Have you ruined her forever?
She's living with like all people that are over from universities in the U.S. studying and working abroad for the summer. So
is she a confirmed Arsenal fan now? Have you ruined football for her?
I don't think that she's going to support anybody else. I don't know how strong the bond will continue, but she wore red that day. She seemed to enjoy herself. So yeah. I think we've gotten another one in there. Then yeah, and I think those are most of the videos I have from that day. It was just a fun day, man. I mean, it reminds you again why this community of Gooners is not what you see on Twitter, but what you see in the place, and what you'll see in the States when the team comes and everyone congregates in Baltimore, Orlando. It's just a fun group of people that you want to be around, and you can spill wine on them, and you can spill beer on them, and it's fun. And I think the only other things from my trip that I want to show, these were the seats of my Airbnb, because now it's always a big deal now. Will I be able to sit on them? They were actually quite comfortable, and they supported my weight. I have to report they did not break. Did not break those. And
well, there's always a first for something, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, and then let's see. I think we got 2 or 3 more pictures on here to go through. Oh yeah, always go out for a Chinese in Leicester Square in Soho, and there's a restaurant there that one of our good friend's parents owns. Did you know that?
No.
So at some point, after like 97 videos from this place, I had to check it out. And that burp was full of wonton soup. It's not bad. Not bad at all, Tom. Pretty proud of you. Your parents' place. Perfect.
So I had a soup. Did you know that Tom's parents owned a?
I remember now. I remember reading about it in the Arsenal Podcasters weekly newsletter. So great days.
They have the centerfold spread with the duck leg. It's like completely naked.
See, I can't go to places like that because apparently in South Korean and Chinese culture, it is extremely rude to go, can I have chicken chow mein, no onion? Can I have shredded beef with no bamboo, no onion? Can I have special fried rice, no prawns, no vegetable?
No, you can't do that. No.
I do that here. So I had Chinese on Friday, and I ate it over Thursday. I got it, and then I ate it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I had 3 meals and chicken balls, but I don't want any vegetables in my fucking food. I'm not
we don't go. I order it I order it in, which I would think you would as well.
Yes, I did.
But the app allows you to I'll ask for the combination fried rice with no peas or carrots. I like the onions. I like the.
You can't do that in restaurants. They get the right amp.
Well, or you get something else and don't really know whether you're going to.
In Sinter in Manchester, I can do it there. They're what are they? Singapore, Chinese. It's a combination of 2 countries.
Fusion. That's what they call it. Fusion. But did you get the halibut?
What?
Did you order the halibut?
I don't eat fish anymore. The price of fish and chips in this country is fucking unbelievable. A couple of years ago, pre-COVID,
80% of chippies are going to be gone.
Yep. About pre-COVID, me and Sean's mum would get dinner once a week. We maybe get if we got fish and chips from there's 3 good places in Huntingdon and Manchester, and I'd have haddock and chips, and she'd have battered sausage and chips, and then each one of them cost us about £6-7 a person. Now a haddock on its own is £9, plus about £4 for chips. You can get fucked. For that, the whole point of fish and chips is cheap food for people who didn't have much money. That's why it was always in shitty places of the world. Like London had loads.
If it's a battered sausage you want, you could just do that yourself. I mean,
I couldn't find it. But it's no longer become a food for the poor. It's become food for rich people because of it. And places are shutting down. Like there's one shithole in Manchester that has been closed for a month because of the price of oil. You can't afford to buy it anymore.
Yeah, it's nuts. But I actually did not have a fish and chips while I was there. I had a lot of Chinese, I had my lamb ribs. Had to go to my favorite Turkish restaurant, which is on Blackstock Road.
See, I don't like food, so I'd be just happy having McDonald's every day.
My last day there, I was so excited to go there. So I had to go up. I had to go up stop by Highbury House to pick something up for the raffle. And so I walked down to Blackstock, go to Yildiz for the lamb ribs. I had a picture of the lamb ribs, but I don't think it uploaded. I was just in heaven. So good there. And then let's see. Oh, the very last thing of the trip. No better way of ending off a trip than this. I'm walking down. I'm early for my flight. I'm going down the escalator, headed to the loo. Get out of the loo, and I'm going to a Weatherspoons, and ready for some breakfast. And I just happened to check my Twitter DM, and there's a message in there from somebody who says, I've just seen you go down the escalator, and he's like, if you fancy dropping by, we're at the Pret. And I said, I've just put in an order at the Weatherspoons, but I can head over afterwards. How long are you there for? And he goes, oh, I'll come by. I'll come see you. And so 5 minutes later, walking around the Weatherspoons looking for.
The suspense is killing me. Smudger Smith. Jesus Christ.
You know
How the upper half live.
where and of course I haven't changed my shirt since then, as you can see, but but yeah, I mean, when you are just, you know, a fat American Jewish fake fan, internet supporting Arsenal knobhead,
Which
and
you are all of those things.
and you go down an escalator and you've got, you know, one of Arsenal's best.
Why didn't you
goal scorers of all
recognise him?
time. No one recognized him. I mean, he was walking around the Weatherspoons like a private citizen, and
Like a normal person.
yeah, and you know, they're normal people too, it turns out. But yeah, I mean, I've said a million times the guy could not be more lovely, more helpful of the charity. He just, every time I talk to him, he's nicer and nicer, and he is the, you know, the person responsible for helping me get this done. And he even, you know, he asked about it. He says, how's the shirt doing, and, you know, is there anything I could do? But
You've got
just
130 left now, haven't you?
yeah,
Entries.
out of 500, there's about 130 entries left. So go to GoonersVCancer.com right now and get in on this before it's too late. But yeah, just, I mean, the perfect ending to a great trip. Just, you know, and then I sat in the airport. I missed my flight. I took a later flight because I was sitting on my airport to see, like, maybe Michael Thomas will come and see me. You know, maybe you know, will Lee come by? Will Kevin Richardson show up? And no one else came. So
sad times.
I was a little disappointed, but so that was the trip.
What's the highlight of it?
Thank you for indulging me on that. But
I've got fuck all to talk about.
Well,
I found some very expensive wrestling memorabilia, which could make me thousands of pounds.
Wow. If
I found these packs of 1982 WWF Superstars of Wrestling stickers, and I found them, and I got 49 packs of them.
Oh, geez. Open or unopened?
Unopened. And the last one sold for 26 quid by someone else on eBay.
If you open
and he
them,
said he hadn't seen any
their value.
Eh?
If you open them, do they lose their value?
Yes.
Well, then I'll buy one off you, and then we'll open it together on the next Sunday roast. And just
I've got them on eBay for 75 quid a pack.
Ooh.
49 of them.
Well, if they don't sell, I'll buy one off of you just so that we can open it together on the.
I did find my money though. I got a whole thing full of money. I got $2 brand new $2 notes in there. That's about as entertaining as I see. I'm done again. I got some £1.
I came home with a ton of quid. Is quid the plural for quid? Quids.
Quid. Few quid. A few quid.
I came home with a ton of quid because a lot of the fundraising was in cash, and I have a system where I write down the name.
Quite rightly, stole it.
I write down the name of the donor in cash, and then the next day I make a donation in their name with my credit card, so that it all goes directly there. And because to exchange cash for cash or anything like that is a pain in the ass. So I ended up with a ton of quid, but I'm coming back again in August, so it's no longer worth it to me to like panic about changing all my money in the airport before I go home.
Bring it with you.
I don't want to waste that Alan Smith time going to the money exchange. Came home, and the night I came home was the night I came home was my son's soccer banquet for his high school team. Wouldn't you know, he won the Golden Boot for his
and
team.
didn't he win another prize as well?
Golden Boot and second team all district. Could not be prouder of this guy. Just everything came together for him this season. He didn't get playing time last season because the coach was just absurdly obsessed with this kid who had zero football intelligence whatsoever. And Jake barely got any playing time. This season, new coach came in, recognized talent, recognized effort, and dude had a great season. So congrats to him. And then let's listen to Arnie here. What did you? I didn't get to hear a lot of it. So what were you and John talking about last week? I was at the winery trying to tune in a little bit and say hello, but there was a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, wasn't there?
I'm fascinated by trading. I mean, I would show you all the ones I've got here, but in my weakened state at the moment, with it's like, have you ever decided to go on a fitness thing and you go, that's it for 3 days, you do nothing but you work out for an hour and a half, 2 hours each day, and then you feel, I'm feeling really good, and then the 4th day comes and you go, oh fuck, I can't move. You ever done that?
Yeah, except I usually do. That happens without the first 3 days of working out.
So yeah, I can't lift any of the cards because I can't move my shoulders and my neck and my back at the moment. It'll be all right in a couple of days, but fucking hell. So yeah, we talked about, because I'm not interested in trading cards as a whole, like I am football or touring cars and stuff like that. But the amount of money that people pay for cards, when you're talking $20,000-$30,000, and that dickhead in America who's the YouTube bloke paid $1 million or something for a Pokemon card, and so I've got thousands of them here. I've got more cards, so many cards. It's about 5,000 cards. Oh Jesus, there you go. I've got about 5,000 cards. So we're talking to John, and John he knows what he's talking about when it comes to Magic the Gathering cards. So we're just talking about that. I say no. He's opening loads of packs, and his mate collects them and sells them. And I'm thinking, that's interesting, but why are people paying so much money for it? But then I put some of my WWF stickers on, and I sold 3 of them for 10 quid.
I just love you, man. I love you. I'm into some really. This is not how I mean this, but I'm into like. I take joy in watching stupid stuff like wrestling, and I collected football cards, and I mean I can geek out with the best of them, but then there are some things I just cannot even come close to, get like Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, and
he gave me a bloke's YouTube channel where he talks about it, and I've watched a couple of it, and I just don't get any of it.
Does he have a lisp and live in the basement of his mom's house?
No, he's a millionaire. So I was just interested in John's side of it, and John's. I mean, to look at John, he's a lady killer. He's a big, beefy, good-looking bloke, and you wouldn't think he'd be into that kind of stuff, but he is. So I was just trying to get that kind of stuff out of him, and then we're just talking about other things, and cleared my loft out, and got thousands of items and shit and more bollocks I need to get rid of because I have no use for any of it. I mean, those cards, those stickers, I probably paid £5 for 50 packs in maybe the late 90s, early noughties when no one wanted them. And there's one bloke I was looking at on eBay, he's English, and he's got his entire collection of Panini football sticker books, and he's got it up for £24,000. Now, I've got most of those. I've got doubles of most of those. But you have to find, like I was saying, when I tell people, oh, it's 75 quid a packet, no one's paying 75 quid a packet. You can list it for £1 million a packet. No one's fucking paying it. So you put it up for 75 and hope people make you offers that you're going to accept. Some bloke wanted to pay me 30 quid a packet. I'm thinking, these packets are about 5p a packet. And he's offering me 30 quid. So I thought, no, I'll just leave it and I'll wait.
And you're gonna cash in at just the right time. When the market peaks, you're gonna be there. And you're gonna fly over and come visit me.
The one thing that, if this new thing works, but this is one of the best cards I've got. Where is it? That is a Undertaker 1982 rookie year sticker, still in its thing there.
Is he with Paul Bearer there? Who's he standing next to? You got to hold that up to the camera.
Yeah, Paul Bearer.
Hold it to the damn camera.
I can't get any fucking closer, Mike. I've got a medical condition, you shit.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
See, that's fucking killed me. Good God. Oh, I'm back up again. Someone has got, do you know what PSA rating? Oh, fuck's sake. Do it again. Do it again. There you go. Do you know what a PSA rating for cards and videos and all that shit is?
I actually do, because recently I was cleaning out all of my old cards and trying to figure out if I had anything of value, and I don't. And any like, I have a lot of American football cards from the 1950s all the way through to like 2000s, and some baseball cards as well. And I think I talked about one time on the show, actually, how I had basketball cards that were worth a ton of money, except they were perforated, and you're not supposed to rip
Apparently
them.
not. They don't like holes in them.
And I ripped them, which was just idiotic, like Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and they're all on one thing, except if you rip them apart, they're worth nothing. I wish I could just turn the clock back to that moment and be like, "Don't be an idiot, you 7-year-old."
Everybody would do that, and then they'd all be worth nothing. But there was a PSA rated 8 of that sticker, and it's up for $500. Now that is perfect. That was taken out of the pack and then just left in a container. So that is as close to a 9 as you can gonna get. So I've got that up there for £300. And remember, UFC? I found a load of UFC NSTC, which is the American version. We have PAL. I found 14 UFC videos that I'd imported from America back in the day, like the real early ones. So they're all on there as well. They're not only.
How can we follow? And by we, I mean the roasties. How can we follow your eBay endeavors? Like if you hit it big, we're never going to see you again. So how will we know that that's what happened? Because you'll just be off to Brighton to spend your money on Gallivant.
Brighton. That's one of the last shitholes I'd go to in this fucking. The first place I'd go, I'd probably try and sneak into Portugal where it's warm all year round.
It is nice there, but that's very hilly. Very well, at least in Lisbon, very, very hilly.
Oh, Loki's. I remember Loki saying last week, he says here, he's my Panini 1981 stickers only worth £6 a pack. I'll keep them until I have the lot. I have over 200 packs. It's amazing how much people. I see like there'll be a rookie. I don't like using the term rookie year, but we have to. A rookie year, Steve McManaman or Steven Gerrard or any like that, and the trading card for that will be on eBay for £2,000. And you think you're just talking absolute shit. I know all my prices are massively, but when I look at something and there are none on eBay, and none have sold on eBay in the last year, going back and checking the eBay checker, I've got a one of a kind, and I've got so many of those, and I can ask whatever I want for it. One bloke's hassling me, messaging me, going, well, you can't ask that amount of money. I think you're fine, sunshine. I can ask whatever the fuck I want. Whether I'm going to get that, now, that you could make a moan about that.
No, but if you know what it's worth to you and you're not willing to sell it for less than
it's worth nothing to me. I've got no use for any of it. That's why I'm selling it all. But I'll just leave it there. It's a piece of paper. I mean, I could have that for 10 years. None of this makes sense. Some of the big things I need to get rid of. I've got a load of car parts with the old Merc coupes.
When you put your mom up there on eBay, let me know, because I'll put in a cheeky bid.
Yeah, or you could all chip in and buy her between you and have her as a concubine. If she'd like that. She's a fruity little number.
I'll talk to Owen and Mike and Jared and Andy and see if we want to, like, she could be the Gooners Pod mascot.
Petito's got 150 pair of shoes. Petito's in New York, I think, and he is from. Because I was horrible, but I'm spent in this country where he's from. I'm thinking Haiti, but it's not Haiti. It's a country near America.
Jamaica?
No, I know them lot. Come on, Petito, where are you from? Because I mentioned your country a few pods ago, and you went, "Oi, I'm from there." Anyway, he said that his collection's worth about 30 grand.
That's
good.
That's great. See, 150 pairs of shoes. You have to have a special room for that. Like if you have a bunch of football cards or baseball cards or Magic the Gathering or Pikachus and shit, you can put those in a little box and store it in your cupboard or basement or whatever. But 150 pairs of shoes, that would absolutely. Was it Imelda Marcos that used to have 5,000 or something like that? Joel Campbell in Costa Rica.
There we go, Costa Rica. Very nice place.
Petito, did you get out while you still could? Speaking of Joel Campbell. So any other topics? We're I knew this would be a long one since it had been so long since we had been in each other's bosom. But any other topics that the chat would like for us to discuss? What do you have coming up? What will we be talking about next Sunday on the Sunday roast that will be happening between now and then, Danny?
I have got absolutely fuck all to do. Do I have to delete one of your pictures to put a picture in here?
You probably will, but they can all go now. All the ones I put up today can go.
All files. See if this one is working. Okay. I'll delete the nerd one. Get rid of that. I only need to get rid of 2, and the J. I'll just get rid of the bottom 2. There you go. I've got 2 pictures.
Sorry, I was trying to delete that. I played it by accident.
Oh dear. There's a picture of me and Carl.
Yay!
And Sean's mum knitted me that scarf.
That's a nice necklace.
It's so that's Carl, 8'5" Carl, and Femi was on the other side of this, and Femi and his cousin were there. And yep, there's all my trading cards.
Well, that looks familiar. I'm used to seeing treats stacked up like that on the table.
Sugar or chocolate or anything, and that's me watching a bloke on Twitch called Replacement. And if people can screen grab this, there is nothing dodgy in this photo at all. Apart from all the fucking wires down. Half those wires down the back don't even connect to stuff anymore. But that's partly why I'm knackered, because all of the...
I'm trying to look around the back of the TV.
No, nothing to see. Because all those I had to hand sort and put... They were just all chucked in a box on top of each other.
I don't know.
So fuck me, there you go. That's why I'm knackered. But for the next week, I've... Oh, right, Arnie was said about that. With my condition, muscular spinal atrophy type 3, 1 kills you, 2 fucks you up, 3 gets you when you're in your 20s, teenage. Anyway, so just eventually it means you don't move because all your muscles stop working, and then you move less and you get fat, and then you move less and then your muscles stop working, and then you move less and you get fat, and then you end up, because I don't eat much. And so there's this medication, and it was invented in America. Thank you very much. The first injection is $1.4 million. And then you need another injection every year, which is $750,000, give or take. That's the gist of it.
What's it called?
What's
it called?
Oh, fuck no. Oh, what's what called?
The medicine.
Oh, fuck no. I don't know. And anyway, so that was about 4 years ago. They discovered it. And so what it does, when you eat food, you know, your food goes into your belly and your guts and all that lot, and then your guts go, all right, let's break this down and separate it out and give it to the parts of the body that need it. You know, that's how food works. Yeah. Well, you then, out of all that lot, your body will make 2 small proteins and 1 big protein. My body doesn't do that. My body doesn't make the big protein. So all my muscles don't get the right amount of protein. And so then they can't work to their, nothing's broken. Nothing is damaged. Everything's still there and works. It just doesn't work as well. It's like trying to run a did you have 4-star petrol over there?
Do I have what? 4 what?
Premium petrol. What's your top rated? Oh, it's like having 110 octane. My body needs 110 octane petrol, and it's only getting 40 octane petrol, and that's why it doesn't work. So what they've done is they've managed to get that, and the NHS over here are giving it to certain people. And what it does, it says to your body, "Oi, you fatty, fucking sort it out," and then it makes your body make the proper proteins. That's it. That's all it does. £7,000 a go. I think you take it once a week or once a month. Anyway, so my friend Lisa has got the same thing as me, but she's got the type 2, which really fucks you up. And her neck was going a bit wobbly and she couldn't move her hand properly. She said it started working within 48 hours.
What's it called again? The type 2 and type 3? What's the...
Muscular?
It's just called type 2 muscular?
No, I'm saying it slowly.
Oh.
Spinal atrophy. There you go. That's it. And so my brother's fucked. He's not been out of bed in 20 years, and that wouldn't happen to me. Oh, got an itch.
So if you take this medicine,
yeah,
when are you going to be like?
I've not spoken to them.
I mean, will you be back to being like a 20-year-old, like athletic? And
I messaged her. Well, I'll tell you what she said. This is actual proper information. So if people don't like it, then we're very sorry. I was messaging. Oh, she's replied. Fucking hell. I said to Lisa about everything for me is getting harder for the last 6 months. My neck and my back and my shoulders. Plus, I've got arthritis, which is what's making it worse. She said, I noticed improvement within the first 48 hours. I didn't have any side effects. And so what you have to do here, I have to ring my doctor. My doctor then rings them and says to them, "Oh, we've got someone for you." And then they say, "I mentioned Lisa's name," and then they go, "Oh, well, we know someone, blah blah, might be able to do it." I said, I looked it up, and it's about $7,000 a go. Have they said that you can have it for any length of time? And if they stopped it after 2 or 3 years, would things start to go bad again? And then she's replied during the show, apparently I will have it for at least 5 years, but as long as I am able and I don't have any side effects, I will stay on it. As for what happens if you stop taking it, well, no one really knows yet. There you go.
Is it Spinraza? Is that the medication?
That's it. I think so. She says this is making some of the proteins we lack. So I guess once we stop, we will gradually diminish again. I think it's about £500 per 6 meal dose, but a deal was made so to have it on the NHS, so it's probably less. Oh, yes. So yes, it might be all right.
Well, we're gonna donate every penny made by this podcast. And I just mean this
demonetized.
This episode. and it's going to be copyright. It's going to be demonetized.
We always get this one demonetized. So the £2 we'd usually make, but I don't think it's a matter of money. But they've just been. I mean, I've got to speak to them, and it's in Cambridge, so it's not far to go. So hopefully, if they could just turn things back a little bit, then I'd have some energy and strength to fight the arthritis. It's only my right shoulder and my right elbow.
No, I'm done joking about it now. I mean, I wish you felt better. I mean, you always put a smiling, happy face on things, but I know that you would love to be not feeling the way that you're feeling right now. So,
this is because I had a bath, and after I had a bath, I used the electric chair because I put all the towels on it, and I can move around without the towels getting caught up. So I used the manual chair all the other time. But when I was in that, I was taking things from the sitting room and putting them into Sean's old room, which now got a massive big an IKEA 5x5 unit. So I'm putting stuff in there, coming back in here, getting more stuff, moving it all around because there's no one here to do any of that anymore. My mum's old and knackered. Sean refuses to come back and do anything. All my friends don't come round anymore because of COVID and all that other shit. It does sound like an Italian fullback.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we've been linked with signing Spinraza for a few years now.
And I heard that we've offered 20 million and they want 30, and he's only willing to go to Juventus. So
he's just using the medication is using us to actually be able to stay in Italy.
Demsek says his jabs were 1,000 per jab. I have 2 a month. Now the NHS use bio-similar meds. Yeah, I have these injections for arthritis, cost £60 a go. I've been on it 6 years, but then now it's only lasting 3 days. It used to last 5, but that's something that just happens with these injections. They don't work forever. And Arnie says, can we raise some money? I don't think raising money is the thing of it. It's the getting hold of it, and I don't think it's something I can just buy. It's going to be something that the NHS will have got on a deal with.
Right.
With the company,
and
then
you have to get registered and on the list from the NHS.
Well, it's nice. We have a thing called NICE over here, NICE. They're the ones who approve all the drugs. So hopefully, I messaged them. My doctor would have told them a couple of weeks ago. My brother went for it, and they approved his within 2 weeks. But he has to go to Addenbrooke's in Cambridge and have a blood test and some other stuff. But he can't. He doesn't have any way of getting out of the house. But so yeah, hopefully if they say yes, I can be out there the next day.
Well, keep us posted. So
yeah, like Womble says here that his sister's always in pain. I'm never in any pain. Nothing. I've got stiffness in my shoulders at the moment from being in the bath for 2 hours and scrub. Plus the weather changing. Normally I get achy when it's bad weather because it's cold and wet, and arthritis people have that. But
I would say this is probably the only Arsenal podcast where you can get what have we had? We've had medication names, and we've talked about pain management and muscular diseases. We've talked about lamb ribs. We've talked about Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
think we talked about getting semen in your Chinese food if you ask for it with the wrong vegetables or not vegetables. I mean, it's a very, very diverse, wide-ranging discussion here. But yeah, keep us posted because we all want you to feel better.
Seems like Demset's got a similar kind of thing with the immune system, because that's what arthritis does. Arthritis just goes, "Oh, your joints? Yeah, sorry, sir. We see those as the enemy. Right, attack!" And so the injection I have kills off white blood cells, and so then the white blood cells don't try and attack you. But I'm not in any pain. That's the main thing. So it doesn't matter. Cheers, Loki.
Yeah.
Zolgastama sounds like a Bulgarian footballer.
We should have a game like we start looking at medications for similar conditions, and then do one of these games where it's like, is it a medication or is it a footballer on the transfer list? And we can turn that into a game. We need more games on the Sunday roast. I think we.
The roasties, it's their job to think of it. Jeff, I shall send you a WhatsApp audio message after the show. The beast, methotrexate, that's what I take, 15 milligrams. But I'm taking it every 6 days now.
The worst medicine I ever took. I have a condition called ulcerative colitis. Bobby, you do need to go to that place, man. It's right. It's like 5 or 6 doors down from the corner of Blackstock and Gillespie. So called Yildiz. You got to go. So when I was 19, I was diagnosed with a gastrointestinal disorder. That's why I've had all these colonoscopies over the years, including the famous one from 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the famous Arsenal colonoscopy.
Look at this, and Daniel Robert. Medication or foreign footballer? Great game.
I mean, the ideas are just flowing right now. Come on. I got to take a double dose of Tevez next weekend. But back in the 90s, there were not a lot of the medications that there are now to help take care of the gastrointestinal condition. So the first thing they would do is put you on prednisone. And
I've just had a week of that. 5 milligrams.
I had 2 years of that.
Yeah, it makes you fat.
I mean, you want to. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have gotten fat, because when you look at my family, my mom's side of the family, we all are kind of big boned and tend to gain weight. And I mean, it's just the way that our family genetics are, although not so much on my dad's side. But I went from 5'11". I was literally 11 stone, 154 pounds, 160 pounds when I was 18, 19 years old. And after my first go around with prednisone, I cracked 200. And moon face too. The pictures from my sister's wedding, you would not even recognize. Like, it doesn't look like a younger version of me. It doesn't look like a fat version of me, because I was a lot less fat then than I was now. But it's something called moon face, and it just, my cheeks look like chipmunk cheek. It was awful. I looked at those pictures. I'm so glad that they got divorced, because now we don't have to look at those pictures anymore. But
there's always an upside to other people's misery.
No, I'm not glad, but the and then I had to go on again after my wedding. Like I just stayed off it. I dealt with the symptoms, because I'm like, I'm not gonna look like that for my wedding. So as soon as the wedding was over, I went back on it again, and I mean, I was 240 by the time that was done, and it changed my body chemistry a lot earlier than it would have. So I blame prednisone. I mean, 60, 70 milligrams of prednisone, and then a 60. Now, when you have something like asthma or a flare up of something, and they put you on a week of prednisone, it might be like 40 or 50, and then you quickly go down. But when you're on 60 for 3 months, it takes 9 months to get off of it, because you got to go from 60 to 55, and from 55 to 50, and so on, and 2 weeks at a time. And it just, I mean, my appetite, my energy, I felt like I was literally on steroids. And it's a corticosteroid. It's not an anabolic steroid. So it's not like what these baseball players were using to juice themselves up.
Yeah, it's not the good stuff.
No, but I would wake up in sweating in the middle of the night. It changed me. and it was absolutely Daniel Roberts killing me. Monte Boris.
That's who Hleb went and played for a dozen times. But with the, I took it before when I first got arthritis. They put me on progesterone thing for 5 milligrams twice a day for about a year, and then I put on about 5 stone. Now I'm on it again for a week, and it's made fuck all difference. So I'm going to stop taking it.
Well, the
It's only
week-long
5
thing is like
milligrams
a
twice a day.
blast to like unflare whatever's flared, whether it's
Not working.
whether it's like intestinal, whether it's pulmonary, or anything like that. But the 12-month cycle just absolutely killed me. Although we did used to have eating contests when I was at the height of my prednisone with my friends, and I would win every single one of them. I would just burger after I could have won the hot dog eating contest in New York City that weekend or that year. But
Dempsey's just put what he's got in there, type of
My
arthritis. I've only got rheumatoid in my right shoulder, but I've had a dodgy right shoulder as far back as I can remember.
Kevin, man, I did not realize that, man. I hope you're all right. Shit.
This is why I don't moan too much about mine, because I'm all right. I just have to get someone to come around and help me in the bath. But I'm in no pain, and I'm not. I'm not terminal or.
Well, and you have no shortage of people lining up to do that.
Yeah,
which is.
And I live in England, and so it all gets paid for. But this is why when people go, why don't you moan or talk about it more? Doesn't really make any difference whether I do or not. Not going to go away. And there's a hell of a load of people that have to deal with shit a lot more worse than this.
Yeah.
I'm miserable anyway, so it's not going to make any difference. It's not like I was a ray of sunshine until I had my dodgy shoulder.
And leave it to me to make the cheesy circular reference to moaning and bitching about Arsenal finishing 5th instead of 4th.
Well, there you go. That's why people. I don't care about where Arsenal finish. It's just it's like having a gnat flying around. Just ignore it. It doesn't really matter. But Arnie's saying in Iceland he pays nothing. I pay nothing for. Oh, you fuck! My fucking fat fingers again. I pay nothing for my prescriptions, and I have 12 a month, something like that. Cost me not a penny because I don't work. And even if I did work, it cost me £140 a year, and then that pays for everything. So there you go. We've ended the show on a high.
Well,
talking about illness, and
I'm actually I'm really kind of taken aback and struck by how, and I appreciate him sharing it with me. But Kevin, man, I had no idea you were dealing with that. Obviously, I know from your generosity to Gooners versus Cancer that it's a meaningful cause to you. But man, I'm speechless. I'm sorry that you're dealing with that, man.
He does say it is the one that comes and goes. I'm not sure how that works, but it's still got to be worrying, hasn't it?
Well, yeah. Any blood cancer is whether it's active or whether it's in remission is not going to feel good. I think that's kind of the layman's term for how it affects you.
You're going to feel a bit pooky for a while, is the minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone's got illnesses. Everyone's got little problems, and the older you get, the more you get. Everyone I know now is like Sexy Frank. He's fucked his knees, he's fucked his back, but he still carries on every day.
Sexier than that.
Yeah, and then we've got a mental health epidemic at the moment, which is fucking horrendous. Luckily, never had a bad day in my life, but so many people I know. The way this government works, this country. If you go to the doctor, you're not happy. Oh, here, have some painkillers, have some antidepressants. Now, fuck off. Oh, you might kill yourself. Well, never mind. There you go.
Well,
tough luck. We haven't got the money for it.
What they say in this country is,
have a gun.
Have a few guns. Yeah, exactly. I was actually going to say in the opening, I was going to say, all the stuff that had happened since the last time, in the top 4, like I said, and then I was going to be like, and our last show together was about 71 mass shootings ago, and that isn't funny, and that's why I didn't say it, and it wasn't meant to be funny, but it's just pathetic and sad.
Sometimes that's the only way to deal with tragedy, is to look at the dark humor in it.
Yeah, but this is a little. Right now, it's just spiraling. It's every single day, and I don't want to start a new 20-minute segment on that because we could, but I've got family to go down and see. and that is where I will bring up the final thing for me anyway. This week is my 25th wedding anniversary is on Wednesday. Everything's happening at the same time. My son's graduating high school. My daughter turned 21 and went to London for the summer. My wife turned 50. Father's Day is coming up in a few weeks, which is probably the least important of all those things. But
actually, that's what I said to Sean. Sean said, do you want me to get Father's Day off? I said, I don't care about Father's Day.
Is your Father's Day the same as ours? Because the Mother's Day is
so.
on it.
No,
third Sunday in June?
Yeah. I said, I don't care. Don't care. Father's Day means nothing. It's just a made-up thing. We don't give birth to them, so Mother's Days are important. Father's Days, we don't care. Do you care?
I mean, it's the one time that I don't have to get a gift for anybody.
Other than your birthday.
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's it's a little sad for me for obvious reasons when I think of my father. But I enjoy it. We usually, which was on Saturday though, because we like go out for a nice dinner, have some bubbly, but yeah, so yeah, Wednesday is the big 25-year anniversary. It's I never actually expected that I would see a 25th anniversary, but the way I'm going, we might see 50. I don't know, but and the house is still sitting. The house is still waiting to be built. It's
are they fucking around with it now? They got your money.
It's been sitting there for a few weeks. I'm still thinking it'll be October, November before it's ready, but yeah. So that's all that's going on. There's next week's the 12th. I'm free. We should be able to.
I'm always free. At the moment, I can't fucking go out. I can't get dressed properly. I can't move. I've got no grip. I've got no fucking movement. I can barely bloody put my t-shirt on. But hopefully, that's just because I've done too much. And then in a few days, it will go away. And then I'll be fine. And I'll be out because I think Thursday is going to be nice weather in the UK. Make the most of that. Fuckers. I think we're done now, Mike.
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap it up. We have our I think we might have one of the more loyal, because it's always 25 to 35 people.
Our roasties.
And the roasties, and it's the same roasties every time, which I love that. I mean, it's good to see you, Bob. Daniel,
all middle-aged men with bad ankles and sore knees,
or worse. I mean, it's great. That is our demographic. we finally understood our demographic is people who watch us to make them feel better about their own miserable selves. Because look at us.
Kate was there earlier. She's not a middle-aged man. That's
true. Happy to do that service. Daniel, good to see you. Scream Boy. Mask Gunner, Arnie, it was great to meet you. Pizedra, I mean, was this did this person come in when we started talking about medications? Because they were like,
Big Pharma is out to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Make everybody ill and then charge them a fortune for the stuff to make them better, make them feel better short term.
Kevin Dempsey, aka Dempsec, Petito 100 from Costa Rica.
Petito.
Low-key 73. We had who else? Procrastinating Womble. That's
Gunnar Russ.
What'd you say?
Gunnar Russ was there.
No, that's Russ Morgan. That's not Gunnar Russ,
isn't it? No, there was someone called Russ there who was a Gunnar.
No. Well, Russ Morgan is Russ Morgan and Russ Hogg. Gunnar Russ are two different people, but they're both
one of them's got to change their name.
Yeah, and let's see who else was in. We gotta go way back. Cy Anvesh was here. Nick
is the oldest one on here.
Phil Macca, my friend, some bloke from Baltimore, and of course the lovely Mark Bacreden. So thanks to one and all for joining us for another Sunday roast. What is this, number 17?
I think it's 16 or 17. I did put it in the tweet, but now I've forgotten because it was such a long time ago. Well, someone's asking about fasting. I eat once a day, and it takes me half hour to eat. And other than that, all I do all day is eat fruit and drink water, and that's it.
I fast all the time. Like when I'm done eating, I fast until the next time I eat.
Yeah, I eat. My fast is 23 and a half hour fasts. Apart from half a cereal bar when I take my tablets and when I get up, I would say in the morning, but it's never in the morning.
My fasts are 23 and a half minutes. But I don't eat anything during that 23 and a half minutes. Not even a thing, not even like a candy bar. Not even a Ruffle or a Pringle. Nothing. So all right, guys. This has been a Sunday roast, a look back on a venture across the world, a long discussion about maladies and the health system, a karaoke celebration of Goonerdom, and I'm clearly stalling while I look for the outro. But we will see you next week at 10 p.m. Right?
We will indeed, or 5 past knowing you.
Say goodbye, Danny.
Goodbye, Danny.
Welcome to the Sunday roast with Mike and Danny. This is Danny and this is Mike, and we're kind of strange. We're in the tub and we drink a lot. At least one of us does. This is not Mike's body, but that is Danny's, and that's really gross. Thanks for watching the Sunday roast. We love our fans. And here's Danny's mom.
His name's Michael.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And he's a Jew. You can tell he's a Jew. Look at
Ask him
him.
who's his daddy.
Magical moment. I can almost taste Danny. It's so close.